Call the meeting to order. Welcome, commissioners, staff, petitioners, and citizens to the August 8th Mishawaka Plan Commission meeting. Introduction of staff. To my right, we have Donna Burkhart, our administrative planner. To my right, we also have Shad Annis, the associate planner. To my left, we have our city planner, which is Derek Spear. Up in the front row, we have David Bent, our legal counsel. And coming up the middle aisle, we have our executive director, Ken Prince. Donna, would you please call the roll?
Chris Jamrose.
Here.
Murray Wynn.
Here.
Woody Emmons.
Here.
Sam Cressy.
Here.
Nick Triola.
Here.
Dale Freeman.
Here.
Kathy White Gaddich.
Here.
Mike Portalese.
Here.
And Chris Torty.
Here. Thank you, Donna. The rules of procedure are up on the board on my right and left. And keep in mind, we do all of our speaking at the podium. When you come up, please leave your name and address very clearly so Donna can take that in the official records. We will have somebody online tonight, so I ask for a little extra patience for that. The rules of procedure are up. First, we'll hear a presentation by the petitioner. For each item, we will ask those participating in the room to speak first, followed by those participating online. Then we will hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the request. There'll be time for those who wish to speak against the request after that. If you don't know whether you're speaking for or against and you have general questions, I suggest you come up during the against. We'll accumulate all of our questions and we'll have a right of rebuttal by the petitioner to answer all of those questions. We'll close the public hearing and then we'll have a commission discussion and a commission vote. The previous month's minutes, which were July, were distributed to the commissioners. Were there any corrections or additions that we need to note? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the minutes pass. Is there a declaration of or a conflict of interest on any of the items for anybody tonight?
I have a conflict of interest on design review 23-05.
23-05 noted. Anybody else? No? Okay, that brings us to the first item on the agenda. First item on the agenda, a petition 23-18 by City of Mishawaka requesting to vacate the north-south alley located between West Front Street, West First Street, North Spring Street, and North Mill Street. Is there somebody here to present this? And I believe it's our executive director.
Mr. President, members of the commission, Ken Prince, Director of Planning and Community Development. I have to take advantage of it because I think it might be the only time in my career I get to say it, but if you look out the window, it's the parcel located just to where the Porta-John is. So that Porta-John, that connection between Front Street and First Street, that's in the location of the alley that runs north-south there. So in terms of cleaning up the properties for redevelopment downtown, we're merely looking to get rid of the alley between it to market the property for redevelopment. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
You utilize the Joy John to have us locate the property.
I did. Yep, I had the developer located there, just so I had a point of reference.
Any questions for Mr. Prince? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else wishing to speak in favor of petition 23-18 in the room or online? Hearing none, is there anybody in the room or online wishing to speak in opposition to petition 23-18? Any additional information, Mr. City Planner?
No additional information.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing, and if there's anybody on the commission that wishes to speak, or I will take a motion on 23-18.
We approve petition 2318 forward to the
Second.
council.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Donna, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose.
Yes.
Murray Wynn.
Yes.
Woody Emmons.
Yes.
Sam Cressy.
Yes.
Nick Triola.
Yes.
Dale Freeman.
Yes.
Kathy White Gaddich.
Yes.
Mike Portalese.
Yes.
Chris Torty.
Yes, and petition 23-18 will move to the council with a favorable rating from the Plan Commission. Brings us to the next item on the agenda, petition 23-19, a petition by University Gardens requesting to amend the University Gardens Planned Unit Development, 6910 North Main Street, Granger, Indiana, to allow for microblading services. And now it's time for your meeting. She was here a bit early.
I'm Nicole Wolosinski. Do you need my home address?
Yeah.
Yeah, 27218 State Road 4, North Liberty, Indiana, 46554, sorry. And I'm here to get my tattooing facility license. Or facility, I don't know what else to say.
You did a great job.
Thank
Is
you.
there any questions? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, yep, one question.
Is that for you or for your shop?
It is for, well, both, for me and for my shop. I'm the only one in it.
Okay, so you don't have any other operators?
Nope,
you?
just
Okay.
me.
Do you plan to have anybody else?
Not at the moment, but if I did, what do I need to do, or is there something else that I would need to go through?
Is that all you're going to do, is the microblading, or you?
The potentially microblading, but I do hair as well. So right now I'm doing hair in there, and then I'm adding the microblading.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Excuse me, there was someone earlier in that same area that did microblading.
There are a lot in there, and I tried to get my landlord to
okay.
zone the whole the whole complex, but he is choosing not to. So,
Okay, appreciate it, thank you.
yep.
Thank you for the questions. Is there anybody else in the council chambers or online wishing to speak in favor of petition 23-19? Is there anybody in the room or online wishing to speak in opposition to petition 23-19? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing, and I will take a motion on 23-19.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve petition 2319 as presented by the presenter.
Second.
We have a first, and who did the second?
I did.
Oh, Mike Porterly. Great. Donna, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose,
Yes.
Murray Wynn,
Yes.
Woody Emmons,
Yes.
Sam Cressy,
Yes.
Nick Triola,
Yes.
Dale Freeman,
Yes.
Kathy White Gaddich,
Yes.
Mike Porterlies,
Yes.
and Chris Torty.
Yes, and petition 23-19 will move to the council with a favorable rating from the Plan Commission. Brings us to the next item on the agenda, plat number 23-05, a request submitted by 1500 Lincoln Way, or McKinley LLC, seeking approval of the one-lot 1500 McKinley LLC minor subdivision. Hi.
Hello, Terry Lang from the Whiteman office. Our address is 1402 Mishawaka Avenue in South Bend. I'm here representing the plat before you. We've seen the comments that the engineering department had and the planning department. We will gladly be making those changes as necessary for that, and we're looking to move forward with a parcel that's been kind of overlooked for the last 5 years, off and on, wanted to do development, and now they're finally going to be going ahead with it.
Thank you. Questions for Mr. Lang? Nope, thank you for the presentation. Is there anybody in the council chambers or online wishing to speak in favor of plat 23-05? Is there anybody in the council chambers or online wishing to speak in opposition to plat 23-05? Then we'll close the public hearing. Any commissioners wish to speak? If not, I will call for a motion.
I motion to approve plat 23-05.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Donna, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose,
Yes.
Murray Wynn,
Yes.
Woody Emmons,
Yes.
Sam Cressy,
Yes.
Nick Triola,
Yes.
Dale Freeman,
Yes.
Kathy White Gaddich,
Yes.
Mike Porterlies,
Yes.
and Chris Torty.
Yes, and plat 23-05 passes. Next item on the agenda, replat 23-04, a request submitted by the City of Mishawaka seeking approval of the 7-lot replat of the original plat of St. Joseph Ironworks.
Mr. President, members of the commission, Ken Prince, Director of Planning and Community Development. The plat before you, the replat before you is replatting the 4 blocks, again, outside the window. For the St. Joe Iron Works, essentially the lots that are in part redeveloped, so if you look at the Jesus lot, the one along with the law office there, we retained the property. This was an acquisition of property that occurred over time. There were multiple lots that were platted, there were easements that were created, and essentially the purpose of this plat is to kind of clean property lines up. So the other area, when you look at toward the west, we're looking at widening Hill Street, so we're taking a portion of right-of-way out of the block. When the Avalon building that's currently being constructed is being built, we purchased right-of-way as part of that acquisition. They dedicated right-of-way as part of that acquisition, and so we're just cleaning it up and creating one lot for that piece of property. I will say that the Jesus property, we've reached out to the property owners, and we have not received any feedback, so the worst-case scenario, we'll have to remove that property from the plat, that we would be unable to move forward if they don't sign the plat. So again, that would be only for their property, that wouldn't be for the remainder of the plat. But again, the purpose of this was to clean it up to make it easier, particularly for them if they would ever need to sell the property. So there's, right now, there's property the city owns that their outside seating area actually encroaches on. That was envisioned as part of the development agreement that we had. But now it's time to clean up these loose ends. So that's the reason for the plat, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Makes sense. Questions? Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the council chambers or online else wishing to speak in favor of replat 23-04? Is there anybody in the council chambers or online wishing to speak in opposition of replat 23-04? Any additional information?
No additional information.
Then I'll close the public hearing, and I will call for a motion on replat 23-04.
Make a motion to approve replat 23-04.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I think I heard Woody. Donna, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Woody Emmons?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathy White Gaddich?
Yes.
Mike Portalese?
Yes.
And Chris Doherty.
Yes, and replat 23-04 passes. Next item on the agenda, a request submitted by, it's DR 23-05, a request submitted by Church 200 LLC requesting a design review waiver from Section 105-174 signage size limitation for a sign at 200 North Church Street, Mishawaka, Indiana. I believe there's somebody virtual to present this design review.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, I'm Richard Story from Artwork Sign Company at 55581 Current Road, Mishawaka, Indiana, 46545.
Could I have you
So,
spell your
yeah.
last, could I have you spell your last name, please?
Yes, Storey.
Great. Thank you. Continue with your presentation.
Thank you. So we are proposing a sign on the northeast wall, and the proposal has a logo that is 36 inches tall, exceeding the 30-inch allowance, and the words Cressy would be 20 inches tall, which would exceed the 18 allowance there. So we are asking for the approval of that waiver.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Story. Is there any questions? Woody?
Thank you. That sign is going to be over where it's all glass facing the river, is that correct?
Yes, yep, it's the northeast wall facing the river.
Okay, is there anything going to be on the front of it, of the former police station, where all the flagpoles are? And is there anything, signage going to be there?
Yeah, there will be a sign there, but I believe it is already under the designation for the, it does not need a waiver for that.
Okay, I didn't understand. You mean you haven't submitted a proposal for a sign in front?
There is a sign to go in front, but it is going to be within the already, like, the permitted size. It'll be smaller than this one,
Okay,
so it won't need a waiver.
okay. That was just for information, since you're putting a sign on it, one for the river, I didn't know whether it'd be something towards the street coming down Church Street. And
Mr. Prince, did you have
Yes, just
additional?
to add, the sign that is on the front of the building will be covering the engraving that says Mishawaka Police
Gotcha.
Department.
that's
So,
what I was wondering.
yes, and it'll be identical to this, only smaller.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions for Mr. Story on this design review? No, thank you for your presentation. Is there anybody in the council chambers or online wishing to speak in favor of this design review? Is there anybody in the room or online wishing to speak in opposition of design review 23-05? Is there any additional information, Mr. City Planner?
None.
Okay, then we'll close the public hearing, and I will call for a motion for design review 23-05.
I would move that we approve design review 2305. and forward it with a
Second.
Favorable.
We have a motion, and Nick was the second. Donna, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Woody Emmons?
Yes,
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathy White Gaddich?
Yes.
Mike Portalese?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes, and design review 23-05 passes. Brings us to the last agenda item, which is a site plan, so there'll be no public hearing. Site Plan 23-08, a request submitted by BKJK Properties LLC, Reitman, seeking final site plan approval for an 8,000 square foot building with the driveway access to both Clay and Benton Streets located at 1112 Clay and 1117 Benton. Hello.
Terry Lang from the Whiteman office. Our address is 1402 Mishawaka Avenue, representing the petitioners here. Give you just a little bit of background. The petitioner on this site plan has owned this property for a while, looking to take two existing buildings and demo those that are on the site. They're in pretty sad shape, and his office is located immediately across the street to the west. It is Zimmerman Piping, and what they're looking to do is put a new building on this location. It's set up in a fashion such that delivery trucks can come up and enter and exit through the opposite end of the building then. We have seen all the comments with regards to the engineering department and planning. Those revisions have all been made and have been resubmitted to the planning staff. So with any, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Lang? Woody?
yeah, this is maybe out of the scope, but looking at the east along alley from Clay Street, is that going to be,
Could you speak into the microphone, please? Because you're pointing one way and I can barely hear you.
looking east along the alley from Clay Street? It looks like it's in deplorable condition. Is that going to be under the construction of the new 8,000 square foot building?
Yeah, the two buildings that are in really sad shape are going to be demoed, and the new building then will be centered on the property. So yes, it will be cleaned up in that fashion.
That alley in it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you for the presentation. No public hearing. I will take a motion if there's no comments or questions from the commissioners. I'll take a motion on site plan 23-08.
Motion to,
Site plan 2308.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Donna, did you get those?
I did. So
Okay.
Mike did first and then Murray.
Okay, great.
Or you can fight it out if you like.
Hassle.
Please call for the vote. 2308.
Chris Jamrose?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Woody Emmons?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathy White Gaddich?
Yes.
Mike Portalese,
Yes.
and Chris Torty.
Yes, and Site Plan 23-08 passes. Is there any old business, Mr. City Planner?
None.
Any new business?
None.
I would like to add some new business. I'd like to welcome back Murray Wynn. It's good to have you back on here and hear your voice. So you were out for a long time with a terrible injury, but the smile on your face is good to see. So welcome back, Murray.
Thank you.
Privilege of the floor. Does anybody want to speak on any items that are not on the agenda tonight? Hearing none, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a motion for adjournment. We are adjourned.